He's been in jail now for a couple of months, charged with second-degree manslaughter after a deadly apartment fire. Today, he was in Clark County Court. I'll have an update on both criminal and civil cases against Jackie Heisel Jr.
Some high-profile Republicans, including Donald Trump, will be in Louisville tomorrow for the NRA Leadership Forum. A preview of their security efforts ahead on WKYT News at 4:30.
A legendary journalist has died. Veteran 60 Minutes correspondent Morley Safer died 1 week after announcing his retirement.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Amber Philpott reporting. A federal jury found a man guilty of selling drugs to a Lexington woman who died of an overdose.
The jury convicted Christopher Allen of distribution of heroin and fentanyl, conspiracy to distribute, and possession with intent to distribute. Our Hillary Thornton has more details from court now. It's our top story at 4:30.
The 43-year-old Lexington man is facing a minimum of 20 years in prison. His conviction here at the federal courthouse is extremely important to the U.S. attorney. He describes the current impact of drugs in the community as a crisis that he says requires all available tools to combat.
United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Kentucky, Carrie Harvey, says they are putting great effort into cases like this in hopes that it sends a message to those who are trafficking the deadly drugs.
They're not only putting their victims at great risk, they're putting their own freedom at risk for a very long time.
Christopher Allen was convicted this week for distribution of heroin and fentanyl, resulting in death, conspiracy to distribute heroin and fentanyl, and possession with intent to distribute. Those charges coming after Harvey says he gave heroin laced with fentanyl to a Lexington woman who he says had just given birth a few weeks before. Harvey says unfortunately she used the drugs, overdosed, and died. The U.S. Attorney says they've prosecuted several similar cases so far, winning every single one.
The people that we're prosecuting are not people just trying to support a drug addiction. They're people who are preying on folks who have made a mistake but are enslaved to their addiction, and they really don't care about the consequences as long as they get their money.
Christopher Allen is scheduled to be sentenced August 22nd. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Allen faces between 20 years in prison to a maximum sentence of life behind bars. There were 2 hearings today for a man charged in connection to a deadly fire.
Jackie Heisel Jr. faces 3 counts of manslaughter for a fire at a Winchester apartment building that killed 3 people, including his son. In addition to being arraigned today, a judge heard 2 lawsuits filed against Heisel. Our Caitlin Setner shows us what happened in both hearings.
It'll be some time before there's a ruling in the criminal case against Jackie Heisel Jr. Today, the 55-year-old pleaded not guilty to second-degree manslaughter charges following a deadly Winchester fire. It'll also be some time before we know what's happening with civil lawsuits filed against him. It was back in mid-March a large fire ripped through B&P apartments along Spring Mist Lane in Winchester. Some survived the fire, including Jackie Heisel Jr. The man charged with second-degree manslaughter after 3 people died. His son, 36-year-old Donald Heisel, was one of them. Also killed were 29-year-old Tina Reynolds and 71-year-old Dixie Everman. Family members of both Reynolds and Everman filed lawsuits against Heisel and B&P Apartments. Today, those cases were consolidated. Both suits say the complex was negligent and didn't provide proper maintenance of sprinkler systems and smoke detectors. Both suits also say Heisel was negligent. Heisel has told WKYT he was drinking and smoking in his apartment on March 11th when his oxygen tank caught fire. According to an arrest citation, he had been warned about smoking around the oxygen tank before. He's held behind bars on a $1 million cash bond. Today, his attorney asked for a reduction to $75,000 bond, and the state recommended it be $100,000. The judge didn't rule on it today, but she said she'll decide on it soon. In Clark County, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Heisel is expected back in court in early July for a pretrial conference.
Presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump will return to Kentucky tomorrow. He will speak at the National Rifle Association convention in Louisville. His last visit to the Derby City resulted in protest and arrest. Senators Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin, and Indiana Governor Mike Pence and House Speaker Paul Ryan are all expected to be at the convention. With so many high-profile politicians in attendance, it's prompting a major boost in security efforts.
We know we're going to anticipate problems, and we're making plans now. We're training to deal with those problems.
Employees at the Kentucky Exposition Center are working with the Secret Service and other security groups this week. They're training to handle protesters against the NRA, even possible protesters against specific speakers. If you are bringing your own legally carried gun, you will only be allowed in certain parts of the Expo Center. We are finally getting a break from all that rain. It's a beautiful day here in the Bluegrass with temperatures climbing into the 70s.
This is more like it. Enjoy it, though, while you can, because rain is coming back. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Hey, Chris. Nice day out there, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. But, yeah, as you mentioned, the ugly comes back into town over the next few days. Short term, though, the weather is awfully, awfully nice here across central and eastern Kentucky. Look outside, 9 live sky cams. Sun, sun, sun. We've got sun everywhere. A little bit of cloud cover still clinging to our skyline, but overall I don't think we can complain too much. Visible satellite loop, since we have nothing precipitation-wise to show you, with those little cotton ball-looking clouds. Notice how they're bubbling up here across most of central Kentucky. Southern Kentucky more in the way of some sunshine. That's why your temperatures have hit the low 70s in the far southeast. High pressure on top of the area as of now, keeping our skies clean right on through tonight, though we look toward the southwest area of low pressure here near the Houston area. Notice that moisture is streaming to the northeast of that. That'll shoot in here as we go into the day tomorrow, and I come back in a few minutes. We've got a new hour-by-hour and rainfall forecast from one of the computer models that is upping the rain ante in some areas, Sam.
Okay, thank you, Chris. A new online trend has women donating and taking breast milk for free. Human Milk for Babies has followers all over the world, including thousands here in Kentucky. The site is a milk-sharing community where moms can donate and take breast milk for free. But the growing trend is a concern for a Kentucky Children's Hospital lactation nurse who says donated breast milk should be pasteurized before it's shared to make sure it's free of disease.
You would not walk up to an absolute stranger on the street and say, "Give me a unit of blood." Breast milk is basically a live culture.
Amber's at the live desk with our investigative reporter Miranda Combs with more on this story that she's working on for tonight at 6. Amber?
Sam, thank you. This is something a lot of people may not even be aware of, but this milk sharing community is growing in popularity all over the country.
And you may recall this came up in our Investigates meeting. One of our colleagues said that his wife, a friend of his wife's, had actually met someone in a parking lot to donate her breast milk, and we were like, we've never heard of that, so that's what led us into looking more into it.
So then you talked to a lactation nurse over at Kentucky Children's Hospital.
And we thought she would just give safety tips for if you're going to donate online or if you're going to receive milk from someone that you don't know online, but actually she was quite staunch on do not do this activity under pretty much no circumstances unless you've known this person for years and know everything about their medical history. It shouldn't be done at all. She said the only way to do it is through the milk banks, which are set up around the country. Our closest one is in Indiana, but that costs a lot.
And sounds like it's pretty expensive and something maybe a lot of mothers couldn't afford.
Well, it's $4.50 an ounce. That's how much UK pays for each ounce of milk. So you can see how that would add up for a mother over a very short period of time. So the administrator with this milk sharing group that we talked to said that's one of the reasons that mothers might turn to this online option. But there are other reasons as well, and we'll talk about those coming up at 6. Very interesting story.
Yeah, a lot of conversation and a lot of safety factors involved in something like this. All right, we'll see this story coming up tonight at 6. Sam?
Amber, thank you. Legendary CBS newsman Morley Safer has died. The 60 Minutes correspondent retired just last week after decades at CBS News. Craig Boswell takes a look at his illustrious career.
6 days. American losses.
Morley Safer covered the world for over half a century, and he did it in a way that not only touched lives, it actually changed them. His reporting from Vietnam helped shift the way America thought about the war.
And just as the medevac came in, the boy died. He was 17.
In 1965, he showed U.S. Marines burning down a village, sending terrified civilians running from their homes.
Morley Safer, CBS News, near the village of Camney.
It was a new way of covering war, realistic and bleak. Safer himself was Canadian, but he settled in New York after joining 60 Minutes in 1970.
Did you ever hold up anyone?
No, sir.
In 1983, his report on Linnell Jeter became one of the show's proudest moments. Safer and his team uncovered new evidence showing Jeter had been wrongly convicted of armed robbery in Texas. The report led to Jeter's release from a life sentence. Safer also had a flair for the lighter side. He traveled the world, covering everything from the tango craze in Finland to the British passion for gardening. He documented good food, fine wine, great cars.
Awful puns.
In one of 60 Minutes' most popular shows, he interviewed the Muppets.
I thought 60 Minutes was a high-class show.
And he took on the art world twice. First in the 90s, when he questioned the value of modern art.
It's a white rectangle.
Right.
Then again in 2012.
Kitsch, the cute, the clumsy, and the incomprehensible.
But Safer himself was an artist.
Room service closes, Safer begins.
He carried art supplies when he traveled and spent his sleepless hours painting in his many hotel rooms. Over his many years with 60 Minutes,
I'm Morley Safer.
Safer picked up dozens of the most prestigious awards in journalism. For a man who enjoyed telling stories, he always said there was no better job than the one he had. Craig Boswell, CBS News.
Dozens of breweries are bringing their craft beer to the Alltech Craft Brews and Food Fest this weekend.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about checking the things out. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. From Heritage Hall, setup is well underway for this weekend's Alltech Craft Brews and Food Fest. This thing is huge, continues to grow each and every year. Ken is the master brewer for Kentucky Ale, and they have a new release this weekend. Tell us about it.
This is our old-fashioned Kentucky old-fashioned barrel ale, and it is inspired by the old-fashioned cocktail. It has bourbon and cherry, a little hint of orange, some bitters, and a little sugar.
I like that you're adding bourbon to beer again.
Right, yeah, our seasonal series all are barrel aged in bourbon barrels, and so that's what we did with this. We aged this special brew with some orange in it.
Okay.
We aged that in bourbon barrels with cherry juice, and then we aged some of that in bitters barrels, and then we combine them all together, and it becomes an old-fashioned barrel cocktail.
It takes so much. I'm going to taste it, but it takes so much creativity, I would have to say, to put all the different tastes and crafting these brews. Talk a bit about that and how this weekend is a perfect opportunity for folks to come taste this and many others.
Oh, yeah, this weekend's really going to showcase what we do all the time and what a lot of the craft brewers are doing all the time. It's just creativity with beer, and it's pairing it with food or doing something new or doing something traditional with a little bit of another twist. And again, the old-fashioned barrel ale is a classic example of that.
Okay, cheers. We're going to give it a little taste. For me, not being a beer drinker, that's delicious.
Oh, yeah, this is great. It's fruity and it's sweet.
It is.
And it's bourbony.
It is bourbony. That's why I said it was fabulous, right? Pete Weiss is with us now. Pete, a lot of opportunities for folks to come out this weekend, get a taste, a little bit of everything. It's not just beer, though.
No, it's not just beer. From 12 to 8 on Saturday, so 8-hour festival. We've got beer. We've got the Craft Bourbon Trail is coming to visit us as well, so we'll have bourbons, vodkas, gins, brandies, everything that these guys are making right now, as well as the Bluegrass Sundown Milkshake, which has been a huge hit last year.
That's not for the kids, by the way.
We actually take soft serve ice cream and infuse it with Bluegrass Sundown, which is our coffee liqueur. And hopefully, if the weather is warm and sunny on Saturday, that's exactly what you're looking for.
Yum. Come on out and be a part of it. You can get your tickets online at
alltechbrewsandfood.com.
or you can get them here at the door at Heritage Hall. 12 o'clock on Saturday, things kicking off. Cheers. Cheers. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Deanne, thank you. In a fight for equal pay, House of Cards actress Robin Wright used a move straight out of Claire Underwood's playbook. Wright learned in 2014 that Kevin Spacey was paid $500,000 per episode, more than she was getting paid. Wright told producers she would go public about the pay disparity if it wasn't corrected, so they paid her.
It's really hard to complain at all about today's weather. I mean, I thought it was almost perfect.
Yeah, we've really paid the price in the weather department to be able to get this day. But, Chris, it's not going to stick around long for us.
No, it isn't. We've advertised it as a one-and-done nice day, and you should get out and enjoy it. You still got plenty of time. Upper 60s to low 70s into most areas. It's one of those days we're getting in on some clouds. We're getting in on some sun. The sun is over top of your thermometer. It's a little warmer. You get some clouds, a little shade, and that thermometer is going to be a little cooler, but nothing showing up on our Defender radar network. Boy, that's going to change in a hurry as we go into the day tomorrow with more in the way of rain back into central and eastern Kentucky. Sunshine out there. Let's see if that is impacting the evening commute. No rain to talk about, Don. How are the roads looking?
I got a couple of collisions right now, Chris. Working one on New Circle and Liberty. Got a vehicle in the ditch on the outer loop there, and they have the right lane blocked trying to clear that. So still backups approaching Liberty Road on the outer loop. And then now outbound Winchester just before I-75. No one's hurt in that wreck, but is causing traffic to back up right now. Looks like from the Circle to that point. Drive times this afternoon, that wreck not affecting us to Winchester so much. Measuring that from the interstate, it looks like to Versailles it's normal across the county line. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Love in bulk in a strange place for a possum. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
A soon-to-be married couple took their love for Costco to an entirely new level after deciding to shoot their engagement photos inside the store. Photos show the couple lovingly gazing into each other's eyes amid tubs of butter, bulk meats, and huge boxes of Cheez-Its. The pair said they feel engagement shoots always look awkward, so they wanted to shoot the pics somewhere they both love and could also be themselves. Now, the photog said he was happy to do it because he always wants to give his couple something that is uniquely theirs. Why not? That's
because holding a slab of meat is not awkward, right, for your engagement picture. All right, we've shown you videos of snakes in toilets, but this is a new one. The San Diego County Department of Animal Services had to rescue a baby possum from a toilet. They posted pictures of the soaked little one on Facebook. A woman called them for help after finding the critter in her toilet. A second possum was later found in the home along with a broken window, which is likely how the little guys got inside. An Animal Services director says both possums are doing okay. That would be quite frightening if you lifted the lid and found that for sure.
Or if you actually sat on it.
Yes.
And then decided that there's something there that shouldn't be. Okay.
Not good.
We're going someplace we shouldn't.
On that note, we're going to take you right into the 5 o'clock news.